Welcome, everybody, to episode 21 of the Canuckleheads podcast. My name is Justin. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Wes. Let's go over some hockey games. The first game we have here was against the Seattle Kraken. Seattle in Vancouver. I did not write down the date. This was Thatcher Demko and Chris Drieger got the start for this one.
Which we were kind of happy about. We didn't.
Yeah, no Grubauer, like
Yeah.
we talked about. We had a goal 11 seconds into the game from Tyler Mott. It just shows you all the confidence that Boudreau has now.
Starting them.
Yeah, starting them. And then they get a goal 11 seconds in from your fourth line.
Instantly.
That's huge.
Yep, and it sends a message even to the other team.
Yeah.
Just lets them know, like, holy shit, they're rolling four lines that are obviously coming for us tonight.
Yeah, when you let the opponent's fourth line get one in 11 seconds, that's a rough start.
Yeah.
That seems like something that would happen to the Canucks. So glad it happened for the Canucks. This was actually 2-1 Seattle after the first. So, Seattle scored a shorthanded goal in this one from Mark Giordano on a breakaway. So let's just let that sink in for a second here. Like, that's a defenseman who's like 38, 39, that they let get behind them on a power play and have a shorthanded breakaway.
Yep, and it was funny because Petey was the one who was kind of coming up that side in the post-game press conference. He just said, yep, I just didn't notice he was coming past me that fast. Turned around, tried to skate.
So Mark Giordano, for elder gentleman in the NHL, still got some wheels.
Yep.
Then in the second period, we had a goal from Travis Hamonic. Just ripped it past Drieger. Great shift from the fourth line again to set up this goal. Yep. This was also Hamonic's 200th career point, so congrats to you, Travis Hamonic.
I didn't mind Travis Hamonic kind of trickling into the zone there either, just kind of giving him a different look, and then ends up getting a goal. So. Yep.
And yeah, again, the fourth line with just a great shift, like winning puck battles, like retrieving pucks, picking pucks off guys, and then it leads to a goal.
Yeah, doing the damn thing.
Yeah, the line is crushing it. Then we had a goal from Vasily Podkolzin, who got the rebound off a Quinn Hughes shot. And good pinch in by Quinn Hughes, too. Keep the play going. And Pods was due for one. It's been a long time since he scored a goal, and he celebrated like it.
Yeah, I loved his reaction. Even the media asked Boudreau what they thought about his reaction. And obviously Boudreau is really happy for him as well, just to see him get rewarded, because he works really hard every night.
Yeah, like that line with Petey, Podkolzin, and Höglander is always very noticeable. Petey's kind of been the only one really racking up points lately.
And it's kind of nice. He's driving that line. It feels like he's really, like, that's the role for him right now. Just put him with the two rookies and let Petey shine.
He is driving that line. It's weird that, like, Pods and Hogs aren't picking up, like, just some
assists.
I get it. Here and there, but they've all been playing good.
Yeah.
So this was 3-2 Vancouver after 2. And then in the third, we had a goal off the power play. Bo Horvat from the bumper. After a PD one-timer, and this is something that Wes and I talked about also too, when PD starts shooting, the penalty-killing team has to respect that side of the ice. Mm-hmm. Because our other four guys basically are on the opposite side of PD.
Yep.
So if they take away that ice and PD's not shooting, our power play is ineffective.
Yep.
But when PD starts ripping pucks, because everybody knows he can beat a goalie clean like nothing.
Yep.
So that's big when PD starts letting him go. It opens up everybody else. Open up Bo. Like, when was the last time you remember Bo Horvat scoring a goal from the bumper on the power play?
Seriously, because he's been so closed off, because everyone knows, okay, as long as we cover Bo, PD ain't really scoring like that right now, but then now that he's letting his shot go, people are moving towards PD, opens Bo right up.
Yeah. So it was good to see him. Bo needed it too. Hadn't been putting up a ton of points recently. Hadn't been playing that great. But
the only goal he had scored in the past few games, like, went off his shin pad.
Yeah,
you know
like
what I mean?
Arizona
So,
goal,
so it was nice to just see him get a clean goal, and obviously his game is coming back up now.
Yeah, and then we had an empty netter from Tanner Pearson. Good pass from JT Miller just to set him up, to get him on a bit of a breakaway.
Yeah.
So this was 5-2 for the Vancouver Canucks. Wes nailed the score, said 5-2. I'm pretty sure the Canucks had right around 50 shots too, which also Wes said. So
I got lucky on that one.
There was no an off with their head though. That's the only thing we're missing from this one here. Yeah. And I said 4-2, so I was close, but Wes was on the money. So that's that game. That's my book done. That's how many games we've been through already, so pardon the phone for this episode here. The next game we will go over is against Calgary. Calgary at Vancouver. This was February 24th, 2022. Demko versus Markstrom.
Yep, I loved seeing that.
Yeah. The Canucks were wearing Black History Month jerseys in warm-up. I wrote all this down here. Designed by Jason Bempong. And the spaghetti plate logo jersey for the game. Those warm-up jerseys looked awesome. I love the colors like that in the Canucks logo.
The Rasta colors with the blacked out jersey, I thought they were awesome.
Very cool. And then we had a little pregame ceremony here. Claude Vilgrain, who was the first black player for the Canucks and first Haitian-born player in the NHL, was the ceremonial puck drop for the game, and just a cool tribute by the Canucks there. There was also a nice video that Justin Bailey narrated, kind of going over just like different black players that have played for the Canucks and in the league, and just to kind of raise awareness that, you know, unfortunately we still do see like racial, I guess, references brought up, slurs, things like that don't belong in the game of hockey at all, at any level. And then another thing, we had Thatcher Demko with a lovely set of gear, paying homage to Kirk McLean.
I loved it. Even the helmet was identical.
The stick looked great too, painted like an old CCM wood stick.
Yeah.
I like seeing Demko in that kit, like, I think full time, 24/7.
I think it elevated his game too.
He looked big too. Like his pads were all black. You can find it on Twitter if you want to go check it out. He looked massive. Yeah. Like just standing there.
Yeah, and he looked like in his head he was like, nothing's going past me tonight. Yeah. Like he just had that in his head. Like I just feel like the gear just put him in the zone.
It's something about those jerseys just in general. They just make the boys play a certain way.
100%.
Also, Brock Besser's 300th career game, so congrats, Bess. Yeah. Crazy that he's already suited up 300 times for the Canucks. I remember his rookie year. I remember his first goal. Like,
I remember when he broke his back, and I was so scared that he might not play again because that was just terrible how the boards were open and he hit his back like that. But so glad to see him back and doing his Besser things. Yeah.
And so this was 0-0 after the first. Kind of the way we all anticipated this game to go, like a goaltending showdown with like two of the best goalies in the league.
Yep.
And then the second period happened. So we had a goal from Elias, the alien Patterson, with a vintage PD one-timer off a pass from Quinn Hughes. Yeah, and like, you know, they played against Markstrom a lot. They practiced against Markstrom a lot, so they probably have some tips and tricks.
What I said to Lane was, this was us in practice with these two goalies on either side of the ice, like in scrimmages. Like, these players, like, granted, half our team is different this year, but our main players know these goalies so well, and they know what works, they know what doesn't.
And that was just a perfect shot from Petey.
Yeah.
Then we had a Demko save. Lost his stick. Big glove save. Flashed the leather. Not a very Demko thing to do. Like,
no, and the splits after, too, just so sick.
It was beautiful. And it, like, we'll get into it, but this was the turning point in the game, this save. This got the crowd into it. It got the Canucks, like, the players really into it. Like, this brought a lot of energy into the building.
And he made some major saves throughout that first as well. Like,
Demko and Markstrom were good in the first.
100%.
So then we had a goal on the power play by JT Miller. Just a perfect snipe, high blocker on Markstrom, which kind of seemed to be where the Canucks were going this game.
Yeah.
This was just a perfect shot. Like, it doesn't matter what goalie this was going in the net here. And a great screen from Brock. Assists go to Quinn Hughes and Elias Patterson on this one.
Yeah, and I definitely like how PD cycles it up to Quinn, goes to JT, and JT just takes a couple nice strides in and just lets that shot go and just
rips it top corner.
Yeah, beautiful shot.
Then we had a goal from Beaufort Williams Scorvat. Off a 2-on-1 with Mott and Besser, just picked up the rebound, and again, I believe went high blocker on Markstrom.
Yep.
So the Canucks, they knew what to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter. So A, you have to break down the Flames to get a grade A shot chance like that.
Yep.
But B, then you have to beat Markstrom, which is hard.
Impossible, but that's the thing. Like he was just saying, there's a trend going on here.
Yeah.
So
then we had a goal on the power play by Beaufort William Scorvat. Just a tap in on a great pass from Miller, who I'm not sure if he meant to or not.
Kind of looked like he angled the
did
skates.
kind of look like he meant
I don't
to.
know if he did or not, but JT Miller's a hell of a player. I would not be surprised at all if he meant to do that. Definitely just angled it right to Bo's stick.
Yeah.
And boom.
Either way, it was a perfect pass.
Yeah.
I believe it was a Brock Besser shot. So Bess and Miller with the assist on Bo's goal.
I kind of think that was like a shot/pass. Like I don't think he was trying to score with that.
Yeah, I think Bess was trying to send it to Miller.
100%.
Yeah.
And then Millsy just angles the skates right to Bo. Boom, in the net.
So at the start of this power play, this was about halfway through the power play when the Canucks scored. Markstrom had to leave the game. His skate blade popped out, and just the trainers couldn't get it back in, and there was only like 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
Or 2-3 minutes left in the third here, or second. So finally the refs just told them to send in their backup goalie.
Which I believe was the right move. Like
it was taking a little long.
Yeah, and plus, like, I don't think you send Markstrom in after he's already, you know what I mean? I think you already let in three by this point. Yeah. And you could just tell the way the game was going. They're just like, it's okay, Marky. Sit on the bench. Put this guy in.
So, Dan Vladar came in. Got scored on pretty quickly. Tough situation for him.
Didn't even have the top of his pads done up.
Yeah.
That's how you could tell. He didn't think he was going to be playing that night.
Came out, stretched a little bit, and then, bam, he's going into the game shorthanded, right? Yeah. So it's tough for him.
Oh, 100%.
Can't really blame him for it.
No, you're not warm at all. Pads aren't even done up, and you got the hot Canucks just throwing shots at you. Like
then with about 13 seconds left, we have a goal from JT Miller on the penalty shot.
Yeah.
I thought he got in too close. I thought he was going too slow, but it just forehand, backhand.
Yep. A poke check could have finished him.
Yeah, back forehand and just slid it past Vladar, who again, like they showed like on the replay behind him, he had straps hanging from his pad, like he just was not ready.
No,
and then you go in shorthanded, and then you get a penalty shot. A Flame, Rasmus Andersson had covered the puck in the crease with his glove.
That's what I was just about to say. We should talk about that because there's so many people, like Calgary Flames fans, saying, "Oh, these penalties, this and that." That's a legitimate penalty shot. He's laying down in the crease and covers the puck with his hands. Everyone knows. Big no-no.
Yep.
Penalty shot.
You can't do that.
No. JT Miller scores, makes it look easy. It was a beautiful goal.
So this was 5-0 Vancouver after 2. And like 4 of these goals came after the Demko save. There was 10 minutes left in the second period. The Canucks just basically erupted here. Mm-hmm. So into the third, we had a goal from Gnarly Garley off a massive rebound from a Pearson shot.
I loved this goal because it looked like Pearson threw it off the pads intentionally.
Yes. Close. Vladar almost got it. Markstrom stayed on the bench for the third period. They just let Dan Vladar play. So.
Which was the right move.
Yes. Yeah. You don't put your starter back when you're down 5 goals.
Yeah. No.
Especially we know firsthand, Markstrom plays a ton. Will play a ton, so get him some rest.
You know the competitor that Markstrom is, too, so you know that the last thing that he would have wanted was to get pulled from this game.
Yeah, especially against the
That's
Canucks.
what I mean. And Demko on the other side, like, for him to get pulled, even though it was off, like, an accidental, thing that he had no control of, you know that inside he was burning. He was like, oh!
So, and then...
we love you, Marky.
Then we had a goal from Elias the Alien Patterson.
Just vintage again.
Yeah, made a great read. He was playing shorthanded, was on the penalty kill, picked off a puck at the blue line, and was gone.
And Bo tried so hard to get in there for that hat trick. Cole and Petey's like, nope.
Petey just ripped it past Vladar.
Boom. Which, can't remember, pretty sure this was the only glove side shot.
Could have been, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was this one. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Pretty sure this was the only glove side shot, which, like Justin was saying, was a major trend. Obviously, they know if you're going to score on Markey, it's where the nub of his stick is. And that's where they were shooting all night long. Yeah. And even with the new goalie, they said, hey, we're sticking with the plan, and it worked out just fine.
Yeah, so this was 7-1 Canucks.
Yeah.
Wes and I were nowhere close on this one. I said 2-1 Vancouver. You said 3-2 Vancouver.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
How do you predict a 7-1 ass kicking?
Both a little bit off on this one.
Yeah.
This was the game of the year for Canucks. This was amazing.
This might be the best game I've seen in 2 years.
Yeah, like probably since the bubble playoffs.
But that one Boston game, can't remember if it was last year or the year before.
It was the year before.
Yeah, when we just mollywopped them. That was a great game too.
Yeah.
But this one is like top of the list. Such a fun game to watch.
Yeah, all the big guns scoring goals, getting points.
Barn was packed.
Demko was great. The skate jerseys were freed.
And all our biggest players scoring 2 goals. Like, granted, Best didn't get any goals. He got some apples assists on the boards. Yeah, so, and Quinn getting some assists in there. It was just an amazing night.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks that it came now because we had made up our mind on trading everybody. And now it's like you don't want to break up the band.
Yeah, that's the funniest part about this episode is it's polar opposite from the last episode because... Like, when things are bad, they're bad.
This season has been the most extreme yo-yo roller coaster ride ever.
Yep.
Like,
you go from losing to the point where you think this team is finished to a 5-2 win and a 7-1 win.
Yeah, like, where you outscore your opponents 13-3 in two games. Right?
Granted, we're supposed to beat the Kraken like that. Like, they're nowhere near our skill level. But Calgary... As of late, they've been unreal.
Yeah.
So to beat them in that fashion,
and to have your big guys show up against a big team, like
yep. And we should talk about Goudreau and Lucic both getting ejected by the end of the game
because some bench minors.
And that's the thing, Calgary. Like, you can say what you want about the referees in this game. Show me a video of one of those penalties that shouldn't be called. Like, I get that here and there you can let some things go, but they were clearly frustrated, and those were clear penalties.
Yeah.
They kind of put themselves in that hole.
Yeah.
So for them to complain the way they were and then just getting ejected left and right, it would just show the frustration.
And as far as, like, the power play differential, too, right? Like, I don't think there were too many plays that the refs missed on the Canucks. I don't think there were any.
We played clean. We played so clean.
Yeah, like... Honestly, I did see a lot of stuff from Flame fans on Twitter on this one. Like, you kind of just have to wear it. Like, you just won 10 games in a row.
Yeah.
This was a bad game. Like, it was due. Chill out. You're going to be fine. You're going to have a good run.
And your players made some big mistakes. Like, some of those penalties were dumb penalties that didn't have to be taken. It's the JT Miller effect, but it's on you. And it is what it is.
Yeah. So, I don't really... Normally, for... these episodes, I'll kind of write out what I want to go over.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot going on with the Canucks this week, outside of the games.
Yeah.
The games were great, like, especially after that Anaheim game. Like, just getting a win was nice, and then with the game of the year against Calgary was also very nice.
And in the unis that we love, honestly, like, why are we not making them our official unis from now on?
At least, like, give me 4 or 5 times a year in those, you know what I mean?
It was funny because Bo made some comments kind of saying, like, when you wear those jerseys, you feel like you're going to get penalties just because of the fact that you look meaner.
It was a reporter, like, the teams that wear black jerseys get
they were talking about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, it's funny because in that game, it was Calgary that took all the penalties. But I get what they're saying with that. It's just, I feel like we're a very clean team. Like, we don't play a lot of slashy, like, cross-checky, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's teams in the league that are frickin' hardcore, like prison rules every night. We're not like that.
Yeah.
We're a fairly clean team. JT Miller, he gets a little wacky, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He gets a little...
And it's funny, too, Bo talking about that, saying he was taking lots of penalties in blue and green anyway, so it doesn't matter to him.
Yeah, exactly.
No penalties tonight for Bo, so they worked. But they do. There is just a different attitude when they put on those jerseys.
100%.
I got to see him live against Nashville.
Yep. And they took the dub again.
Yeah, 6-2, I think they won that one.
Why not just make it official? Thatcher Demko could have the sickest gear in the league all year. Like, come on.
Maybe not full time because it's cool to have them as a special thing, but they need to wear them more often. For sure.
Yeah. No, it's definitely special when they do put them on, even if it's not full time. Make it like 10 games out of the year.
Yeah.
Not like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make it especially at home. Like, it's just so awesome to see.
And it's a unanimous thing too, right? Like I haven't heard a single person be like, "Man, those jerseys suck."
No.
Even like at work, like no guys that are really big Canucks fans or anything. We were watching the highlights. You're like, man, those are nice jerseys.
Yep.
They fucking are.
I think they're the sickest jerseys in the league.
They're pretty good. They're
Like,
nice.
in my opinion, they're the best jerseys in the league.
You want to see some horrendous jerseys? Go check out the Nashville jerseys that they're wearing tonight against Tampa outdoors. Those are bad. Those are bad.
They're terrible. The Kraken's jerseys are terrible too.
I don't mind the Kraken jerseys.
The home ones, okay.
I like the dark ones.
Yeah, they're freaking away they're away unis. They're trash. But there's a lot of teams in the league that have terrible uniforms. Yeah. Canucks aren't one of them.
No.
I think like top to bottom, we have the best jersey lineup out of any team in the league. I am a homer. So what?
There's one or two. Maybe like F- jerseys in there, but
I don't think so. And like it was funny because we were talking about like the cream color and burgundy jerseys, the V ones. Yeah. You don't really like those.
Oh, I love those.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say you have one in the closet.
The
I love those.
The black, yellow, and orange V's. I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. Those are the super old schools.
Yeah.
I would not want them to break those out for a game.
See, those are the ones where
keep
I'm thinking
those
those
in the
might
past.
Be the Fs.
Yeah,
You're just like that happened. That was a phase.
I agree.
But like we were talking about earlier too, it's like Wes and I don't know how to feel about this team now. Like last week, I wanted him to trade Miller. Now I'm like, man, if they keep playing like that, like it's just so fun to watch.
Yeah. But how could you trade him?
It's such a tough spot. Like, and for Rutherford and Alan to judge. Like how do you judge this team?
Yeah. And I honestly am not mad at them for whatever they decide because it's been so back and forth.
Yeah, at this point I'm kind of just rolling with it. Whatever happens. I'm not going to be like...
You can't be mad at them. They see what they see. They have the knowledge and experience. And right now JT Miller is the most valuable guy that can be traded in the league.
Had 4 points against Calgary.
Exactly. So if we're going to take something, it's going to be a lot. And if teams can't put that up, we'll happily keep JT Miller.
Yeah, and the Canucks have the advantage in this, right? Because if you don't trade JT Miller, he's still yours next year. Mm-hmm. You're not losing him. Mm-mm. He's not a free agent that we have to
resign. And he's still on that money contract.
Yes. And, like, hopefully not, but if things start out like they did next year, you can still trade JT.
No, 100%.
And he's still going to be super valuable and probably like maybe even more because he's an expiring deal, right?
Yep.
So whatever contender that picks him up doesn't have to worry about paying him for next year. And if they want to re-sign him, that's up to them. Like,
exactly.
They can work something out after. But.
Yep, and I looked at JT's stats over the past 3 seasons. They're just getting higher and higher. So you got to think next year is going to be a big year for JT Miller.
Has more points this year than he did last year in fewer games.
I don't see him going anywhere when it comes to him putting up points. No. I think he's in his absolute prime right now. So if we do trade him, it's going to be for a lot.
It'll be a haul.
And if we don't, we love JT Miller. We'll happily keep him.
And it's like his additions to the team are so much more noticeable when he doesn't take a penalty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
no,
this game, it's hard. He could have took a couple, and say the Canucks win 7-4. You still don't really view him that different.
Yeah.
He played a clean game.
Absolutely.
Drew penalties, scored a penalty shot.
Yep.
Like,
and sniped a goal, too, walking into the zone. Like, he did everything perfect in this game.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of, like, obviously this kind of in the back of players' minds, too, right? Like, you know your head's on the block. Like, you want to show these guys, like, I'm your most valuable player. Here I am, you know? Yeah. And he did that.
And been the only guy doing it every night this year.
Yep. So. And these guys, they say in the media all the time, oh, yeah, I ignore that stuff. I don't pay attention to it. They pay attention to it. How could you not?
Everybody that says that isn't telling the truth.
No.
Like, it's you trying to kill questions about it.
Yeah, right? It's robotic answers. The NHL players have been doing it for years. That's what they have to do.
Yeah.
But it's just like...
It's their lives, right? Like, if you get traded, you're moving, you know? Like, you're not...
Your whole family.
Yeah, you're not paying attention to it.
Exactly.
And, like you said, it is totally understandable why they try and just be like, let's not talk about this.
Exactly, because it's so awkward.
Yeah.
It's like I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this organization. Now you guys are just going to throw me away? Yeah. Like, it would suck. 100%. And like we said, we love JT Miller. We'll happily keep him. Next year will be a huge year for him on a great contract. Yeah, perfect. Ideal situation for us. It's just some of those games can get frustrating.
And then, so let's keep talking about Miller here. Elliot Friedman was talking during the Toronto game. I'm not sure which one, but
I heard this.
Yeah, talking about the Leafs being interested in JT, and
They can't put up anything that would be enough for JT Miller. I heard some ridiculous stuff thrown out there. Only players that I heard thrown out there that I was even remotely happy with, which this one I'm not that happy with, was William Nylander. I was like, okay, but he's one of those guys a little bit soft.
Also,
a little bit of a soft guy.
Higher cap hit than Miller.
Yeah.
Doesn't solve any problems for the Leafs.
Nope.
So you figure he wouldn't be coming back in a trade. Like,
no, and like,
doesn't make sense for either team. Really,
exactly. I feel like it doesn't make sense for us. I feel like we already have a couple guys that don't really love to lay the body, and we have goal scorers. We don't really need a William Nylander, like, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially like if you're subtracting a JT Miller to add a Nylander.
That's what I mean.
We're kind of in the same spot. What we need is defensemen.
But that's the thing. You're kind of in a worse spot because JT Miller throws the body. He's really involved. He's a vocal guy.
Definitely is, like,
scores goals.
A heart and soul kind of guy for the Canucks.
Exactly.
And, like, Nylander doesn't have to be that in Toronto.
No.
So maybe there's more of that in him, but
maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah. And
not going to happen either way.
No, I don't think that's even...
Yeah. I don't think Miller's going to Toronto.
I actually bet a guy $5 at work that we don't trade JT Miller to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
He's a big Toronto fan. He's like, oh yeah, $5. Shook on it right away. I don't think that's happening. But one player I am interested in a JT Miller trade with the Toronto Maple Leafs is one of their defensemen. Oh, what's his name again?
Liljegren?
Timothy.
Yeah, Liljegren, yeah.
Yeah, Liljegren.
For me, if you're dealing Miller to the Leafs, personally, I want Liljegren and Sandin. I don't know if they would do that, but that's what I want
that's a
coming
big
back,
ask. I think Liljegren maybe a pick.
I think they'd part with one of them for sure.
Yeah, and if we got Liljegren, I'd be pumped. He looks like a durable defenseman.
Big guy, big Swede,
and just thick
Canucks
too, like big jaw.
Swedes.
Exactly. He looks like he's just positionally knows what he's doing. He looks like a smart hockey player. Looked at some of his highlights before we did the pod tonight just to kind of brush up on him a little bit because I don't watch Leafs hockey.
Yeah.
Hadn't even heard his name before I heard of this
defenseman.
trade possibility. So
Lots of upside still to his game. So.
and a guy that had to grind through the AHL, earn his stripes and then get his shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So definitely a guy that's Canucks worthy. And we need defensemen.
Yes. For me, if you're trading Miller, the big piece coming back is a defenseman.
I agree.
We
have goal scorers.
Yeah. Still would need some help on forward, but it's easier to get a top six forward than it is to get a top pairing defenseman.
The thing that I think too is like Garley, sometimes he kind of gets pushed out, like Connor Garland kind of gets pushed out of the top six. Maybe with JT Miller out of the equation, he can get slotted into a permanent role in the top six, and then we can get our defenseman that we need.
Garland has kind of been all over the roster.
You know what I mean? Like, that would kind of open a position for him. And he's been lights out for us.
Garland's been good.
He has a ton of heart. Obviously, there's going to be spots where he gets out muscled because he's a smaller guy.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, I love Connor Garland.
Had like one or two cold streaks this year, but that's just point wise. Like, always a warrior too. Like,
a cold streak for him is not a Tanner Pearson cold streak. It's it's a top tier player.
When Pierce goes cold, Pierce is like pretty invisible. When Garland does, he's still making moves and generating some offense.
And like it's like a 3-4 game stretch where he doesn't score. You know what I mean? Just because you expect so much from Connor Garland.
Yeah.
Look at his points as a Canuck thus far. Like, the guy's been lights out for us. He puts up exactly what we thought he would. Like, he's performed to the ability that I thought he should.
Does it freak you out when I take drinks of water?
No.
Because you got to run the show while I'm drinking?
No.
I think that every time I take a sip,
You're
I'm
not talking.
I'm trying to keep chugging just to keep stretching it out.
That's funny.
One thing we forgot to mention in the Flames game, Jason Dickinson went into the boards hard.
I forgot about that,
me too, because Jason Dickinson has been kind of unnoticeable.
And I feel ashamed to even admit this on the podcast. I seen him go down into the boards and I freaked out. I said, oh no, who is it? Jason Dickinson? Okay, that's okay.
I'll be honest, I did the same thing.
And that sucks to say.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like that. Anytime a guy gets injured, it's freaking terrible. I don't wish harm on nobody, especially in the NHL. It's just, that's a player that has not performed.
I'm just like you said, you never want to see anybody injured, but you're just like, man, I'm glad it wasn't Petey or Miller or something like that. Right?
That was my exact thought. I thought maybe it was Petey or something. I was like,
no offense to Jason Dickinson, and we hope nothing for the best, but we
hope you get a speedy recovery.
Yeah, he's not as important to the team as one of those guys.
And it sucks to admit that, but that's just having transparency with you guys. Like, that's just keeping it honest.
Was supposed to go for x-rays yesterday, I believe. I don't think the Canucks have made any announcements or anything. To me, I think he broke something.
It looked bad.
He was in a lot of pain, like grabbing the back, like his leg. I think, like, I don't want to say like a femur or anything like that, but you never know.
Like, and that's the thing too. Like, he's obviously a tough guy. Got up on his own will and went to the bench. One of those guys that doesn't like laying around on the ice. Tough guy, Jason Dickinson, and we hope he has speedy recovery.
Nothing but the best, and we'll get back to you when we find out what happened there. So hopefully it was just a bad bump and it's just a sprain or something like that. But Jason Dickinson, we hope nothing for the best. Hopefully you come back and you have a good last quarter to the season here. Yeah,
if you're to the point where you're maybe in a wheelchair for a little bit, nursing an injury, just practice face-offs. Face off. I'm sorry. Just Jason Dickinson. Come on, man. Third line centerman. Let's go. We need you.
So one thing I want, before we do a quick reset here too, I've seen a lot of things on Twitter trying to come up with a name for the Mott line. Mm-hmm. The two that I heard that I like the most, the Motto line.
Ooh.
And the Motley Crew.
Motto line takes the cake.
So I like Motley Crue.
We have the Lotto line and the Motto line, and
They're both pretty good.
He definitely drives the line. I think that's a fantastic name.
Yeah,
whoever thought of that, salute to you.
All right, so you've heard it here officially. That's the Motto line. 100%.
That's awesome. I'm glad that they got a name.
Yeah. Okay, so for the last segment here on the Canuckleheads podcast, we will do our player of the week, score predictions, tweet of the week. Yes, so let's go with some score predictions first.
Yeah, I agree.
A bit of a different week. We don't play a Saturday night game tonight. We have a Sunday night game against the New York Rangers in New York at 6:30.
Yep, and Chris Kreider, man, he's been on fire lately.
Has been on fire.
Panarin, always a guy you got to watch out for.
Zibanejad.
Exactly. They're a really good team, but I expect, since we've had these two games with high-scoring games, it is our first game on the road in a little bit, but I want to catch the dub in this one. It's going to be a tough game, no doubt about it. I think maybe even this one, let's say 3-3 goes into overtime, Canucks score, and we're going to give JT Miller the OT winner. Going with a real detailed prediction in this one.
Getting very specific on this one, hey Wes?
Yeah, I just, for some reason, I see into the future here, and we're taking the dub in overtime.
Okay, so what was your score again, sorry?
3-3 going into overtime, then the Canucks take the dub in OT.
And
it could be Petey.
OT win.
Don't take that and set it in stone quite yet. Petey's been on fire as of late. We know that it'll be JT Miller, Quinn Hughes, and Petey. Petey might get the snipe or JT.
Okay, so against the New York Rangers, I think this is going to be a big Miller game because he doesn't. I think he takes the trades pretty personal.
Oh, 100%. It's against the New York Rangers.
Yeah, so I think Miller's going to be fired up for this one. Mm-hmm. I think Demko plays this one, and you play Halak the next night, which we'll get to shortly here.
New Jersey.
I think the Canucks keep rolling. I'm going to give this one 5-3 Vancouver.
Woo-hoo! Love that prediction. And we know Shesterkin, he's a goalie that's been doing really well for them and stuff like that. But I don't think that they have a goalie at the level of Demko. So that could be a very accurate prediction.
Yeah, I think Shesterkin is right there with him personally.
I don't think he's there. I like Shesterkin. He's been on fire. But I just think Demko's a better goalie. Just my opinion.
But yeah, he is a really good goalie, Shesterkin. Maybe your Vezina front runner. I just feel like the Canucks, he's not getting a Canucks team that's down on themselves.
No.
He's getting a team that is
rolling.
Yeah, flying high.
Yeah.
I feel like the Canucks just have their mojo right now, and it's just going to be another high-scoring game for us.
Which, funny week to week, how much things can change.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
So then we have back-to-backs Monday night in New Jersey against the Devils. I'm going first.
Hughes versus Hughes, baby.
Oh, yeah, it is the
Let's
Hughes
go.
Bowl. I am going to give Halak starting. Jersey's got some firepower. 4-3 Canucks.
I like that prediction. I'll go 3-1 Vancouver Canucks. Ooh. I think maybe Jack Hughes gets a goal. Other than that, we shut the door on him. Quinn Hughes is going to be defending. You ain't getting past your big brother. It's going
Your
down.
big little brother. Then Thursday night, we are in New York to take on the Islanders. So nice that they leave us in New York for
Yeah,
the whole week here, basically.
They keep us right tight in that area, which the NHL is notorious for flying us coast to coast to coast.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
So Wes, what do you think? The Islanders?
So that's the thing. We're on the road, but we're kind of staying in the same vicinity, which is a good thing for us.
Yeah, so not a lot of time change.
Exactly, and we can not be so jet-lagged and maybe come out with some wheels. I'm going to go another dub, and this one's a tough one, though. Let's go 4-2 Vancouver Canucks, I believe. And I've been throwing out some high-scoring games. Last week I wasn't so confident, but look what's happened as of late. We'll bump up the score for Vancouver a little bit.
So I also think they're going to win this one. I think that Boudreaux will have some film of that game against the Islanders ready to roll, so that doesn't happen again.
Yep.
I think the Canucks take this one 3-2.
Yep, I agree.
So both of us have the Canucks winning 3 games this week.
Yeah.
Hopefully that happens because, we literally just said last episode, this team's not making the playoffs, but just beating Calgary is huge.
Well, and it's funny. We went on a frickin' 9-game win streak?
8, but points in 10 or something
Yeah,
like that.
so if we could put together a frickin' streak like that again, we're already 2 in the bag here. If we could even put 3 more in the bag in a row, it's looking not too bad for us. If Anaheim has been coming down the list for a couple weeks, if we can just keep climbing upward, man, it looks good for us. But I don't want to jinx anything. We had some terrible moments there last week, so I want to keep my head screwed on straight here.
Yeah, and beating Calgary is so big because they have games in hand, and that was a clean regulation win, right? That's 2 points and a game that you're burning from the Flames. So
it's
huge.
It's the type of beatdown that other teams hear about.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing for us because it's okay, we got to take them serious when they come into town because they just put a beat down on a team who just won how many in a row, right? Yeah. So definitely an eye-opener.
Funny thing, too, in that 10-game winning streak for the Flames, started when they beat the Canucks 1-0 in overtime. Canucks the only team to take a point from the Flames in the last 11 games.
That's crazy.
Yep. So I'm going to do my tweets of the week here, and then we'll end with our player of the week. I got 2 here. The first one from Andrew Walden, also a host of the Rink-Wide podcast with Jeff Patterson. At Andrew Walden, this is his Twitter handle. Juho Lammikko has more points over his last 4 games than Olli Juolevi has in his entire NHL career.
Oh, picking on Juolevi.
A little bit.
I don't like that. That's a forward versus a defenseman.
Just meant to show how good Lammikko has been.
He has been great. Put his stats against Louis Eriksson even. Just do that.
I also feel like Lammikko was the throw-in for that trade, right? It was 100%. Probably just Juolevi for Juleson, and they were just take this guy too.
Yeah.
And it worked out for us.
Great. And it only worked out great since Boudreaux. So give the credit to Boudreaux on that one.
Yeah. And that was actually my only tweet of the week here.
Yeah, that's all good.
So let's get down to our Canuck of the week.
Yeah. You go first on this one.
Elias Patterson. Hard week to pick.
It is.
But Petey's just been rolling and so noticeable, and especially the start he had, it's just magnified his alien play. Just out of this world.
I want to say Demko, Horvat, JT Miller,
Besser,
Quinn Hughes,
Quinn,
everyone, all our best players have been our best players.
Honestly, Pearson has been good.
He's been good.
Garland,
even that was a skilled play to play off the pads to Connor Garland for that goal.
Yeah.
He got an empty netter. He's been great.
Quiet 3 points in his last 2 games.
Yeah,
so.
Travis Hamonic pots a goal.
Anyone on the fourth line. The team has really been rolling.
Mott frickin' pots one in 11 seconds. Everyone has been great, but Elias Pettersson obviously is the Canuck of the week. There's no doubt about it. He looks like the alien again. He's playing like the frickin' OG PD we all know. And I, once again, give the credit to Boudreaux, man. He puts him with 2 young guns, and PD knows in his head, I got to be the man on this line.
Yeah.
And I think that really turned things around for him. And, man, Boudreaux, he's a freaking smart coach.
He's a good coach.
I was not real happy about us taking him on at first, but, man, has he proved me wrong, and he showed me, he's willing to twist the lines in any which way to make these guys feel confidence. And PD is clearly confident now.
And it's something we talked about too, right? How he is a driver. Like,
Yep.
he will drag his line into the fight.
Yeah.
And he's done that with Podkolzin and Hoglander. And they've been so good. I wish Pods and Hogs were getting more points. Because they deserve it.
They'll come.
They will. It's like OEL, right? Like, just went through just a weird stretch where he just wasn't getting points. Like, lots of shots and was being an effective player, but just not being rewarded.
100%. And I think Boudreau, he's the type of guy that knows, like, okay, I've been putting PD and Miller or PD and Besser together a lot. And it's kind of unclear at times who the driver is sometimes when you put guys like that together. But when you put two rookies beside PD, he knows I have to be the man.
Yeah.
And look what's happened. He is the man. So Boudreau, man, so smart.
Like, I always check out on the NHL. They'll show you, like, the last 5 games. And PD's last 5 games is like 2 points, 2 points, 3 points,
Ridiculous.
2 points, 3 points. Like, he's just on a roll. And
Yeah.
the thing where I know PD is back is not his point production. It's the way he handles the puck.
Yeah, that's true.
He's confident handling that puck anywhere. Had a couple mistakes, but he's trying to be like, he's being creative with the puck and like doing different things and doing the things that makes him a special player.
When you handle the puck or carry the puck into the zone as much as PD does, there's going to be some slip-ups here and there. Yeah, they expect him to bring it across the blue line most of the time because he's so good at it. And you're going to have a few mistakes here and there, but I've just been so happy with his play as of late.
You know, it's funny too, when we started doing Canucks of the Week, I would have thought that we would be looking for players other than PD to try and give it to, but just to show that you and I both give him back-to-backs, he's playing good, man. And like, this team is different when he's on point.
I feel like it gives the entire team confidence. Everyone knows PD's going, then it's like, okay, we're more confident now.
Yeah.
Like, when they know he's struggling, it almost puts a freaking blanket over the whole team, like a bad luck blanket or something.
Because he's such a producer for this team, right? It's hard. It just makes that secondary scoring that much more important and 100%. Just adds that pressure to those guys. And
which it's funny because some games when we need that secondary scoring because our top guys aren't there, they're not scoring. Yeah. But then all of a sudden our top guys are lighting it up, so are our bottom tier guys. Yeah. So it's like, man, can you guys pick opposite nights to chip in and but no, just full force ahead. Everyone's unreal in the past 2 games.
The Flames game, the model line did get a little dominated as far as like playing some defensive zone, but Boudreau was throwing them up against Gaudreau, that line, and that's arguably the best line in the league right now.
Man, look at Gaudreau.
Gaudreau, Kachuk, Lindholm.
Man, their points are freaking.
Yeah, especially over this 10-game winning streak. Like, so for them to not surrender any goals to them, like, they got a little bit dominated, but they held them off the score sheet. Yep,
100%. And that's big thanks to Thatcher Demko as well. Definitely a close second or third. So same with Bo. Like, Bo's had 3 goals in the past 2 games. Could have had a Hattie, but Petey got a little selfish. Kind of like that out of Petey though. Just no, I got this. Boom.
That's kind of some vintage Petey when he's just like, I'm just gonna rip it past him and score.
I love that. Happen. That just shows his confidence is fully back.
Yeah, but this was probably the hardest Canuck of the Week to choose from.
It was.
Everybody played so good. So
yep, 100%.
Good signs, and hopefully we just stack some more wins. Cause
honestly, Boudreau might get Canuck of the Week one of these times here.
Never thought of that.
If he keeps this up, man, he might be in the running.
And I think, as far as how this season plays out, I'm not gonna try and be all smart and be like, they're gonna not make the play. I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy whatever happens, and we'll just come talk to you about it and how we're feeling. Like,
at this point, with how we've played thus far, that's kind of how you have to.
It also feels like every time we say something, the opposite happens next week.
Yep.
As far as like wins go, like, I think we've been pretty accurate when we say something, like how we talked about the power play, and then that's what happens. It opens up because PD starts shooting.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty good at things like noticing things in the game where they need to improve, and
it's almost like little jinxes here and there though. Like, it feels like we're about to start rolling again. No, here's a 3-game slider. Like, it sucks, but every team in the league seems like is going through it. Anaheim's kind of going through it. They're losing games, but hopefully we can trend in the right direction here and start making a push. I'm not even going to say playoffs for the next 3 episodes because I don't even want to. Like Justin said, just enjoy the games.
Yeah, we're just gonna come back and talk to you and react and say how we're feeling at this time. Also, I was just thinking of this. I think New York plays tonight, so we're getting them on back-to-backs. So
well, that's
might
good
not
thing
get
for us.
Shesterkin.
Yeah. Might get the backup in that one.
Hopefully.
Which is kind of funny because I think he was their backup originally.
Yeah, for
and
Lundqvist.
he's kind of worked his way. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But
yeah, I think that'll do it for episode 21.
Yep.
Thank you for tuning in. If you like, please go ahead and subscribe. You can find us on YouTube, the Canuckleheads podcast.
Yep.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple, anywhere there's podcasts.
All our good stuff. And since this is episode 21, Hogs, maybe think about changing the 21. If you stay snake bitten for the rest of the season, change it. Go back to 36.
Look good in 36.
Yeah, 100%. This is episode 21. Just thought I'd mention it.
All right.
Screw Louis Eriksson. Another one in the bag.
Ooh.